Alrighty. I'm going to start off by putting a little diaper around the pickup, stripping oil. Do we have enough? Of course not. Running low on long zip ties. That's a different. Let's do this different way. Alright. So we got our diaper. What you want to do is go and get yourself some clean plastic bags. Okay, and you can tuck those up into these nooks and crannies, right? And we can create a barrier so nothing gets up in there. So go ahead and start in on that. Oh, don't let your tape rip. You get the idea. And then just do some finalizing and tucking this, that, and the other, and you're done. We're protected. Alright. So, do a little more finessing. I'm relatively satisfied with that. It'll do its job. Take a look at the other side. Okay, here's the other side. There, and I don't have to worry so much about getting debris. And if you're outside like me, that's also gonna keep any ground debris, dust and particles from blowing up in there. Something that you may not notice. Okay, so on to the fun stuff. So to go about removing this gasket sealant off, there's a number of ways you can go about this, from cheap to pricey. You could use, this is just a kind of a fine bristled stainless brush, okay? And that does a pretty fair job at getting down in there and rolling all that off. You can use, this is a plastic scraper, okay? That does a combination of the two, you know, you'll get yourself there. You could potentially use a razor or something of that nature, but you really risk digging in to the surface and gouging. And if you do use a razor, okay, just be sure that you don't put a slice across this way, across this mating surface, because what you can end up doing is creating a little micro channel. Even though you put sealant on, that has the opportunity to kind of open up a little bit, and moisture, oil could get in or out. Always a possibility. By far some of the easier ways are just have some die grinders. It's a combination of right angle, straight, some wire brushes. Here's some other types. Okay, you never know what angle you're gonna have to get in. And also make the little attachments that have the Scotch-Brite pads, and you can get these in different different grits. This is a kind of a mild grit, and even if you had an aggressive grit, you could work that on some piece of metal or something to buff it out and make it dull, because we don't want to gouge or tear up any of this. Okay. Also, because we're using bags as a barrier, it's kind of handy to have some aluminum flashing kicking around, because what we can do is create ourselves a little barricade there. So once we're working in the surface, we don't accidentally snag the bag and pull it out. Okay? You can cut this into whatever shapes you want, or, you know. I'm gonna start with the back. You can see I already have a piece of flashing up in there. Okay, holding the bag off from the mating surface, so we can start to work all that out. And I got a magnet pinning it up because there's a support bracket for the oil pickup tube. Okay, so that's where I'm gonna start. Hardest spot first, and then we'll work our way around. Alright, I'm gonna start with this little guy. Get the idea. We'll check it out when I'm done with that section. Okay. Got the back done. Only took a few moments. And I'm not digging in hard with this brush. I'm just kind of lightly letting it do its thing. Okay, I'm not trying to gouge the aluminum. So we'll carry on with the rest. Make some cuts. Yeah, you kind of see, you can kind of do stuff like that. It gives you something to bump into, you know? So on and so forth. Alright, that's pretty much it for the most part. Do some final touching up here and there, and we'll move on to the next part. Alright, done a little more touching up to a few spots. Gave this a light blow down, blowed all the bolt holes. Now we're ready for a little bit of pre-clean. A little bit of brake clean and I'll chop down. Okay, there's all that junk. You want to try to do a decent job before you pull your bag barrier out. Okay, get as much as possible. Found some gasket dust that I missed. Oh, I want that to just fall in the pan when we put it in. Alrighty. We'll let the dust in the air settle for a second. Alright, press on. So the other benefit, having the bags tucked up in there, when you pull them out, you know, any debris that got stuck kind of will come out with the bag. What did you do? I'm just gonna delicately pull it out so you don't snag the bag on something, get a little plastic debris stuck up on an edge. Alright, there we go. bit of sludge. Diapers free. Who knows how much of that sealer got into the oiling system. Okay, other little plug. Alright, now we can kind of wipe out the inside here. There's a little shelf here. Okay, what have we got up in there? Oh, and also, side note, you know, if you were to, you know, have a stuck pan and you thought, oh, well, I'll hook up on the edge. This is kind of deceiving if you don't check it out. There's a shelf in the casting up here, okay? See my finger going up in there? That's all part of the casting, so you might think, oh, the pan's just extending out. A hook right there. Well, don't do that, because, you know, might break this. So just be aware. There's some residual. Alright. So there she is. Boat ready to go. Test fit the new pan. Make sure all that looks good to go. So we'll get to fitting that up in a second. Alright, got our pan here. This is a Spectra Premium. These are made in good old Canada. Okay, so if you're ever looking for a Subaru pan, look for a Spectra Premium. Nice. Alright, put that up in there. You can kind of press the flange and see if we get any rock. Got a little bit of rock. Yeah, so I'm pressing up, and then I'm pressing the back, front drops. So I can give you some indication to how much sealant you might want to apply. Okay. And it could also be why the back might have had a leak because of that difference. Maybe didn't have enough. So there's that. So we'll blow this out, give it a rinse, and we'll give this surface another swab for oils and put some sealant on this little guy.